Hello! Hello from Bulgaria and hello from my hat says sunny beach, but I'm actually just a little bit on the precipice between sunny beach and Sveti Vlas, St. Vlas, which is just a little bit north of Sunny Beach. It's another resort town, of course, and here I'm just checking out this Fort Greene complex for someone who has requested that I have a looky-loo. And I have never been here before. Never been on this road. There is a lot of greenery and forest behind me, so that land has yet to be developed, looks like. The sad parts, I guess. There is no parking at this place, in case you're curious. Doesn't look like it, so it's just dirt road in the back. And but asphalt road to get you up here, so that's not a big deal. The other problem is, well, there's a few. You're on a busy road, okay? So this is the main road that takes you between the two towns, and it does get quite busy, especially in the summertime. So just keep that in mind if noise is something that you care about. I guess if you're facing the other way, you know, those top floor places look really cool. The big balconies overlooking the forest. Pretty cool. Okay, so I walked a little bit through the complex, not quite through, but it actually looks really well kept. However, if my brain is correct, you know, this builder and the Fort Knox people and this sort of brand, you know, they're kind of considered the cheap brand, you know, the not the best building materials and not the best maintenance company, all that kind of stuff. So definitely do your research before buying a place like this. I've actually seen a few of the Fort branded properties. You know, this one looks like the best one of them all, but just definitely do some due diligence. You'd at least have some cool neighbors. Yeah, I've never been here before. These little villas here are really quite nice. First time here. I'm gonna give you guys some banter today about purchasing a property. So remember, first and foremost, do not buy anything sight unseen ever. Pre-construction, all that kind of shit. You want to save yourself 10%. I just don't think it's worth the headache. I don't think it's worth the sorrow and the sadness of shit going wrong. So never buy things sight unseen. There's just way too much bad things happening. And I've heard way too many horror stories about people buying properties even before the ground was broken and losing their money. Just don't do that. Look how nice and quaint this area is. I'm very impressed. Look at this. That's not so bad. Never been here before. It's really nice. Okay, so another thing. Always, and I fucking mean it, just do not deviate from this. Always get Act 16. Always Act 16. Not Act 16 later that day. Not Act 16 being planned. Or, oh, I will give you the documents for Act 16 next month. Fuck. Insist on Act 16. Open up your web browser, Google what it means. It's incredibly important. Absolutely make sure the property you're buying, whether it's a village house, most of the time I'll have Act 16, but if you're buying a property here on the coast, a vacation property, Act 16. Secondly, don't ever consider these places, no matter what you're buying, essentially, as an investment in, you know, as a monetary investment in sort of that sense where you're thinking, oh, hey, you know, I've got 50,000 euros, extra money to throw around, I'm going to invest it in Bulgarian property. Sure, you're buying a nice apartment on Vitosha Street in Sofia, you'll make money, for sure. for sure. That real estate market there is going crazy. Plovdiv depends on the property. Sure. Maybe Veliko? Absolutely. Here? Absolutely not. Do not expect to make any money. Think of it as a social investment, as an investment for your family, for your kids, even for your friends. Many people buy an apartment and just share it with other families, and just kind of chip into the property taxes, which are nothing, but also maintenance fees and maintaining the apartment, blah, blah, blah. So think of it as that type of an investment, not a monetary investment. 10 years from now, your condo here, your apartment, whatever it is going to be worth less. So please keep that in mind. Unless, of course, there are exceptions to every single rule, especially this one. If you're buying first line, freaking penthouse, really fancy place, desirable, blah, blah, blah. Maybe you'll make a few bucks over time. If you're on the beach, that kind of stuff, beautiful views, unobstructed, a sea view. Sure, I think there's a possibility that you can actually make a few bucks, but 99.9% of the cases, they'll just build more stuff, and more, most people will just want to buy a new place. Why buy a used place if you can buy a new place for less or the same? So, don't ever think of it as some sort of, I'm going to put a bunch of money, buy $100,000 apartment, and then, sometime sell it sometime in the future and retire or just something like that. That's not how it works, no matter what the hell they tell you, Bulga Invest. You see all these ads for all these companies here who sell these properties. It's bullshit. It's not an investment. It's only an investment for you and your friends and your family. Even if you try to rent it out, the rents here are so cheap, and I don't recommend you rent out your place to people you don't know. It's this is a party place, and renting out your studio, your 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom apartment for 30 or 40 euros a night, and you got a bunch of yahoos dangling from your ceiling fan, breaking things with no recourse. I don't think it's worth it, but that's obviously that's completely up to you. The big problem with this place here is, but look, you can have a look here. It's super clean, super nice. Look at that. That's actually not bad. However, you're gonna have this right in front of you and a busy road. So this being the ugliest by far. There's nothing even close to the ugliest structure. Jeez, probably for 100 kilometers around me. It sucks. I hate the fact that it's here. I hate the fact that it's on the beach. I hate the fact that it's at this location, because, just behind this fucking bunker, there's a beautiful beach. That's where I call the hippie beach, where you can go sit down and have a beer and barbecue and stuff. So they ruined this whole area across the road here. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Rule number 2, perhaps just as important as your Act 16, don't ever give these fucks cash. Ever. Never fucking ever give them cash for anything, okay? If some fucking Ivana Ivanova, who's your lawyer, is gonna ask you to pay her fees, here's 1,000 leva, give me this, and don't fucking give her cash. Insist on a receipt. Only pay with bank transfer. Bank transfers are easy breezy in this country. The banking system is perfectly mature. You can open up a bank account here in 2 seconds, completely free. Bull Bank works really well. Or set up a TransferWise account, put your money in there. Have some fucking recourse. You're always able to, if you ever get into some entanglements with, in court or whatever, you always have recourse. Banks don't lie. If you're sitting in front of a judge who's saying, hey, you haven't paid your condo fees, or you only paid this much for your apartment, say, hey, here's my, I printed something out, here's my bank app, here's a statement from my bank that's telling, that's obviously clear as day, saying that you paid everything in cash. This is common knowledge. I don't need to tell anyone this, but this happens way too often. where people pay in cash, not just the fees, but the places too. Some of these guys are gonna say, here's a tennis court if you're into fitness. It's not so bad. Somebody's gonna say, well, you know what? How about this? Just so your taxes are cheaper, or just so, everything is cheaper. You can pay half the apartment, in cash, and then pay the other half with a bank. And then this way, something, blah, 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 blah. Never fucking do that. Your deed is gonna say you bought a $50,000 apartment, you bought it for $20,000. Think about your insurance later on. How does that gonna work? Just buy the whole place with a bank transfer, pay your fucking taxes that are owed on the property, the fees, and don't fuck around with cash. Don't be sitting out there, with 100 or 50 left bills sitting at a table with some fucking douchebags. Don't fucking do that ever. Okay, so what's next? So cash, maintenance companies, another thing. There's a lot of complexes here that do not have any kind of maintenance companies that are involved in keeping things tidy and clean and paying the bills and keeping the pool nice and your roses growing and emergency 6 a.m. Because your sink is leaking. You have nobody to call because there's nobody to call. So make sure. Excuse me. You deal with a good, reputable management company, okay? So besides finding a good deal, besides finding a good location, besides talking to the neighbors, go chat with the neighbors. If you're buying a nice place or even an ugly place, knock on the door and say, hello Katya, hello Svetlana, or hello John, how do you like living at this complex? Is it cool? How's the company? Is your internet fast? Does the lady come around and clean the hallways? Does the elevator creak, or is it out of service half the year? Is it okay to live here year round? There's a few places here where it's just not suitable to be living if you want to come in the wintertime, or you want your kids just to come for Christmas or whatever. Some of these places are just not suitable to live year round. So make sure. I definitely recommend you choose a place that has a management company that will take care of your stuff. Not some guy who lives on the third floor, some expat, or somebody who lives in the building who just collects petleva from everybody, and then at the end of the month he will pressure wash the sidewalk or maybe cut the grass, but maybe he's too tired or something else. Don't deal with shit like that. All this stuff costs very little, like $1 a day in many cases. And make sure you do some research, do some due diligence on the company that's taking care of your place. A company that will paint maybe beginning of summer, paint where all the scratches are. A company that will, put some nice flowers outside. That will clean and maintain like I said, your pool. Somebody that you can just call and say, fuck, the hallway is, there's smudges all over, a tile is cracked, or, the gate is broken, or a glass or something like that you can call, and they'll say, Mr. Matt, I'm very sorry this is happening. We'll fix that right away. Because that's the way it's supposed to be. So just please remember that. What else do I have to say? Yeah, just do a lot of research. Take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt, of course. I try to give you guys some good advice. I've been here for quite some time, and I just heard so many stupid stories and stupid people and con artists and just scams, and it breaks my heart. So ask around as much as you can. Don't buy things sight unseen. Go check out your suite. Make sure it suits all of your needs. All the little details, Make sure you're directly paying to EVN, to the electrical company. Don't fucking buy a place where at the end of the month, some lady's gonna knock on your door and say, well, you owe some random number that she's gonna make up in her head or show you some shit. That's how much you owe for electricity or water or whatever it is. Make sure your fucking place has its own water meter. Make sure your place has its own internet connection. Make sure you're paying electricity directly to EVN. They are awesome and friendly, and they have a great website. Everything's on the internet. You can pay with your credit card. It shows you avn.pg. You can put your credit card in there. They'll take your money every single month. Do it that way. Do not deal with a third party ever, especially when it comes to electricity. Ever, 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 ever. And yeah, internet is awesome. It's super cheap here, depending on the complex, but you'll either pay directly to the internet company like Nesabor.net here, they're amazing, or pay the 10 euros, whatever. Generally it's about 10 euros a month. I think in some cases you'll have to pay directly to the management company. That's how things work in some places where the internet is provided for the whole building, and the internet company bills the building, and then you just pay. I'm not sure how the setup is, but that's fine, that works. Internet is crazy cheap here, crazy fast. Of course, Viva.com, A1, whoever else is here. Super cheap, super awesome, so never worry about internet, but of course, make sure you have fiber. Most places have fiber here. Make sure it's right, it works. Test the speed, make sure it suits you if you're doing... cool car. Make sure it suits your needs. If you're here for half the year and you're still working, maybe doing stuff online or whatever, make sure you test all that kind of stuff. Make sure everything works. And then water, that's another subject. In my case, we have a meter, just a little chuk-chuk. You check the meter, you write the number down. We pay every 5 months or something because it's very little. And just use bank transfer to your company. You're paid, you get a receipt, you're done. I'm done. Bye, guys.